Hey again, guys, welcome back. I've got some packages here, so it's time for another mailbag. First one up is this big one, which has arrived here a while ago, October 18th, October 28th. It was actually very quick to arrive, and it was kind of pricey, $22.71. But the reason for that is it may have more utility. The reason it's not open yet is because, well, you'll see. I don't have any method of testing it just yet. So, let's see here. I know I gotta be careful because this is kind of a pricey thing. I'm not a big fan of breaking. Oh, it's in a box. Not a big fan of breaking expensive stuff. Okay, there's marker there, but I didn't do that. I did the marker on the outside. And what this is an LED. Oh, an LED panel. So this here should plug into the mains by these two wires here with the use of this driver, which, oh, it's broken. Is that just a cover? No, it's actually cracked. Well, that sucks. Yeah, so it should plug into the wall and provide, oh, that's a weird connector. It's a twist lock thing. Provide some even white light. This is a metal casement though, and this is only a 2-wire device, no ground. I'm a little scared. Yeah, I'm just gonna open it up just to see what's going on inside here. Kind of disappointed that this casement is kind of broken. This is supposed to work in my North American 110 wiring. If you go look on Banggood, Banggood has a lot of stuff for 220 volts, but not very much for 110. This is from eBay. Yeah. There looks like there's a power resistor, big electrolytic cap. Looking for the voltage rating. 400 volts. A little transformer. Output cap. Pretty crusty. I don't know if I would trust this in my ceiling, like put away inside the wall, but I didn't buy it for that. I bought it to either use here at the bench to have a little bit more sort of even lighting, or for some Twitch streaming, because my wife does stream on Twitch. So yeah, I didn't think I could really plug this in, but since it's a 2-wire, I could give it a shot. Hopefully keep my fingers well away from everything and get this thing running. I don't know if there's a difference between live and neutral, because these 2 wires are sort of exactly the same. There shouldn't be, but okay, let me go grab something. I'm going to try to plug this in. Don't try any of this at home, please. So I just want to stress again, don't try this at home. I don't know why the heck I'm even trying it, but yeah, don't do it. How about that? So I'm almost ready here. I've got a lamp cord here. The live end is right here, and these are just these fake Wago blocks. And I will hook this up. Making sure that I can't pull out. There's really stiff levers on this thing. Right. Good. Should be alright. plug this in. Now I believe this one is 36 watts. So it should be fairly bright. I'm just going to plug it in loosely. Hope nothing explodes. Ready? Maybe I'll put the driver in view so that if it does explode, at least I have something good on video. Ready, and contact. Ooh. Not electrocuting? No. Ooh, this is actually fairly bright. So if I turn off my studio lighting, which is extremely bright. Yeah, okay, so it's not super bright, actually. Gives out a modest amount of light, but not a lot. As you can see there. So my studio light, I have a, here, let me turn it back on. So the light on this side is a 50 watt spotlight, and the light on that side is a 100 watt LED bulb, or 100 watt equivalent LED bulb. And this is a 36 watt panel. And the light's not bad. It's very even. It's very even. It's a little warm. I think I did get warm white. But yeah, not too bad. Not too bad at all. I'm not sure. This is actually still cool. That's good. I think it's just the LEDs that go around the periphery. Let me know in the comments below if you want a teardown of this. But yeah, for 22 bucks, it's not bad. Oh, it's a bit warped. I don't know if you can see that. See how crooked it is? This side is pointing that way, and this side's back a bit. You might be able to uncrookedize it. But yeah, it's not too bad. I'll have to see in real world tests. I'll probably make an actual second video about this. If you guys want to see more, just let me know in the comments below. Next up is this one. It says 1x toggle switch. It's actually very heavy. November 11th to December 10th, and it was $6.27 Canadian. And these guys are battery terminals for car batteries. And the reason why I paid so damn much is because these things are hellishly expensive to start off with. And these guys are a little bit special. So they have a lid. There we go. And this lid, and I'm not sure how it works exactly, but this lid should flip them on and off. I think there should be a way to take them off completely. So I bought both polarities. Ah, there we go. Just pull it up more. I think so. I think this is the maximum opening. So this is a positive and this is a negative. I think this is supposed to come up more. Oh, there we go. I think it's supposed to turn off. I don't quite understand. Well, let's bring a battery in and take a look. So this here is a tiny battery. This is a battery off of my wife's Honda Fit. And yeah, so I was just using a couple little loops of coiled wire to just access the terminals here. But this one here has a screw bolt connection where you put your wire through there. And if you want a smaller wire, you could even probably drill these smaller. Drill a small hole and use a little terminal. But it should be able to connect. Yeah, so it sort of slides on like that. So that is actually slid on there. And by shutting this, it should connect. This is very stiff actually. Oh wow, that's way stiffer than I expected. The positive and the negative are different sizes. The negative is a lot smaller, but that almost seems like that one fits well on the negative. What about this negative one? They might be reversed. If they're reversed, I'll be a little upset. Oh wow, this might be from a different standard. It doesn't look like... Oh yeah, okay, the negative fits on there. Oh wow. That's a big... Okay, you have to push on it hugely hard. Huh. That feels like excessive. I guess if it's a really good connection, I won't really complain. Let me put that down on there, and then... Oh wow, that's very stiff. Huh. I actually kind of like that, if it's really going to be that stiff. The negative one seems to fit a lot better than the positive. That's not as stiff. Positive could be malformed somehow, but apparently when it's open, it switches off. Not sure how true that is, but yeah, there we go. There we go. So 2 little terminals, and I can have little wires sticking out of here. And in fact, if you want to buy these things separately, just from here, like not even with the fancy connector on top, they are quite expensive. They're probably $5 or $6 each. That's Canadian. And so I think that these things will work really well for connecting to that 12-volt battery when I need to do 12-volt projects and I need a very stable supply. Sort of like my calibrator here. Next one up is this one. It says 3 times TKDC23C72-2 brush roller. This was $3 Canadian, so I believe 3 items, $3 makes sense. November 11th to December 3rd. Okay, these aren't brush rollers at all, but I sort of get what they were going at here. So these are opening tools, spudgers. I think pretty much all the electronics YouTubers have these. This is actually the second time I order some, but it's the first time they actually show up. Got my money back in the other cases. And so these guys are meant to open things like casements. It's very thin. I thought this would be a little bit more rigid than that. It's actually quite flexible, and they have a nice little rubber grip here. So I would recommend getting a few of these, but I think in combination with a bunch of other things, it works best. Like I've got these guys. I've got these sort of guitar pick-like things. I've got these guys. These are a lot more rigid than these. These are a lot more flexible. So I think it's best to have an arsenal of lots of things to open devices like phones and tablets and pretty much any sort of casement. So get yourself a bunch. They're not very expensive, but when you need them, they're worth their weight in gold. Next one up, we have this big boy. It says 1 times chip, but this is a fairly large package for being 1 chip, but whatever. November 11th to December 3rd. A little bit of shipping damage on this guy. $3.73. Oh, some wires. Did you see that poking out there? Pretty big for 1 chip. Well, they are chips of sorts. This is a whole bunch of either 1 watt or 3 watt LEDs with wires pre-soldered onto them. So it should be 50, I think. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There should be 10 across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And there are. This is insane. So I was actually impressed by the price of these. I'm going to try to break some off here. There's a single row, and you got a bunch more rows there. So pre-soldered wires, which I'm not too fussed about, but the price was insane. I didn't think they'd come all connected like this and punched in their substrates. And they're sitting on these little heat sinks. And again, this was cheaper than buying the wire, the LED, and the heat sink separate. In fact, I think it was cheaper than just buying the heat sinks by themselves, or just the chips by themselves, one of those two. So these things have to be current limited. They should be just white. I think I took natural white, I'm not sure. But they should be relatively high quality, and they are not dropped by any resistance. So they don't have like a 12 volt system with resistance built in. It's just a white LED, so it should be like 2.7 to just under 3 volts really. And so you can light this with, like 2 AA's and a dropper resistor. This is one of the things I did not have in my collection, and when I was trying to build the spooky Halloween skeleton, I didn't really have anything that was high powered and low voltage. I needed something high voltage, but that's a problem when you want something to be based on batteries. So I've got my power supply here. I'm just going to put it up to, let's say, 3 volts, as if you're running on a set of AA batteries. But I do want to limit the current as well. So the current, 50 milliamps. I don't know how bright that's going to be, how much power it's going to consume. But if it's let's say if it's a 1 watt, then we want something around half an amp. I'll give you 1.5, like 200 milliamps. And this is limited to how much again? 50 milliamps. So really it should be fine. Alright, and contact. Okay, there it is. Actually, it's fairly bright already. It's kind of blinding. So it's running at 2.75 volts at 50 milliamps. I can check the eBay listing, but it's fairly bright already. I'm going to crank up the current. Try to put about 100 milliamps through there. At 100 milliamps, it is current limiting at 2.85 volts. That's not bad at all. See, that would have been nice eyes for the skeleton. That would have projected a lot further. How hot's that getting? That's barely even warm to the touch. So I'm not sure if these are 1 watt or 3 watts, but right now we're at 200, almost 300 milliwatts. So let's go up to 200 milliamps. Not too much brighter. We're at half a watt right now. And we are at we're at constant voltage at 3 volts. That's good. Is that getting hot? No, the heatsink's barely warm. I'm going to go look up the information for this, and we'll actually see how much wattage these are. So as it turns out, I bought the 1 watt variant of these lights, and in cool white, which it does look pretty cool white. So it's actually supposed to run between 3.2 and 3.4 volts. I'm going to crank it up to 3.4 volts, and we're going to crank up the current a little bit. And so switch to current. 300 milliamps. Let's see what we got. 300 milliamps. We're at just under a watt right now. And again, it's fairly bright. Like if you look, you can see the light scattered by it. It's about 3 times as close as my studio lights, but it's still emitting a good amount of light. Is that heatsink getting hot yet? No, you know, the heatsink's just warm. So it's about 3.12 volts. So if I had a good beefy heatsink, I think I could push this a little bit higher. The heatsink is getting warm now. But yeah, I think I'm going to make a separate video on these LEDs because it's amazing. You get 50 of these, 50 heatsinks, and 50 pairs of pre-soldered wires, and it's only cost like $3 and something cents Canadian. That's like in the $2 range American. That's really respectable. That's awesome. Move on to the next one. And the last one for today is LED len times 1. I think these are like reflectors and stuff for the LEDs we just saw. At least I hope so. This was November 11th to December 10th, nearly exactly a month, $1.81. I think they are. So these guys should be able to turn these little lights, these little LEDs like we just saw, into flashlights, because they have a little bit of a lens in there, and they have this thing here, and these two spots here are where you should be able to have the legs of the LED come down, or the wires, I guess. So that should fit just like that. Just these wires back like that. Yeah, that should fit just about right. And so now if I turn this on, it should be a lot brighter. Yeah. So it's not brighter. That's actually not true, but it is more focused. So you can get these in a range of, yeah, that's actually very bright. This would make a really nice little flashlight. So this is, you can get these in a whole range of sort of beam patterns. I got a fairly narrow one. I think I got 60 degrees. And I got 10 of these for $2. So that's not bad. I'm actually projecting it onto the wall kind of that way. It's doing a really good job. In fact, I can even light the wall, which is about 15 feet behind me, with this little light. This is great. I can see 3D printing an enclosure to fit all this together, maybe with a little another metal heatsink on the back, and this would make a great flashlight. That's awesome. I never thought they would come in so close to each other. Look at that. Oh, the plastic is actually getting warm in the front from the light energy. That's amazing. Don't you just love LEDs? So this would actually, you know what, I take it back. This would be the perfect eyeball for that skeleton. So maybe next year I'll do something with that where you could put a colored lens on the front here, like a red lens, and this could make little eyeballs for something like the skeleton. That's awesome. So look forward to LED type projects in the future. That's pretty great. I love the fact that you can get these things so cheap, and I can't believe it took me so long to order these little 1-watt LEDs. And this nice little mix of items makes up today's mailbag. I'd like to thank my Patreons once again for their support. I've been super busy recently, so I've been feeling like I've been abusing them. So Patreons, look out, more content on the way. Maybe some Patreon exclusives too, so if you want to be part of that, check the link out in the video description. Other than that, for the people that are watching and commenting, I also appreciate you guys. That's how we grow a community together. So thanks again for watching.